Why do the white Americans use their African pyramid, their Egyptian pyramid, as their main power source there, the New World Order symbology? And that's in some churches, engraved in stone. And obviously, it's all the same people. You can just look at everything and see one small family. Small, probably not, but one family owns everything. And so, why do they use these pyramids from Egypt as their main power source? And anyone has to end up using those symbols. On TV you can see it and all that stuff. And what do they do now? What, they get lost? How'd they end up in America? Well, some of them, most of them, all of them will tell you that they came over here on a boat in like the 60s that was being kicked out of a nation that people who look like them now control. And people who look like them controlled at that point in time too. It definitely wasn't blonde hair, blue eyed people. And then, so supposedly they came over then, except for they were talking about using the pyramid when they first killed off all the Native Americans here. So that's not the case. I mean, the case is that anything they say, if you don't assume the opposite, your life is over. You might as well just go smoke some crack and bang your head against the wall and inject some bleach in your veins, because you're gone. That's it. So you listen to anything they say, you're gone. And so we got to just watch what they're doing to figure out what they're really up to. We don't watch. We do. We try to watch Santa Claus, don't we? If you have any brains at all, you've tried to watch Santa Claus, and you've learned that, well, there is no Santa Claus. Santa Claus is brought to you by the New World Order Pyramid people. So, it's just, it's almost like they can't do anything except for totally ignorance. This is weird because the humans just let it happen. They're just like, that's the way it should be. It's like, okay, I don't know. As a toddler, I was kind of, I wasn't too worried because people around me work with helping mentally retarded people, and I was like, it just ain't too smart. Then I kind of learned it might be the opposite. It might be that they're vicious fucking pigs, predators, pedophiles, child mutilators, and in fact, it is. They did it in the open. How the fuck are we gonna? How are you gonna be a liar and say it doesn't happen? Oh, you would have to be one of them, I guess, because apparently their code is just like whatever is in them. There's like no emotions. There's nothing there. Just Santa Claus, and I mean, you realize you gotta have zero fucking brain processes going on, or it's total hostility. If you go around talking about Bigfoot and Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and stuff like that, and just like kind of like before 2020, everyone was anti-Nazi, every single person, and then all of a sudden everyone's a Nazi, and now everyone's in the like you got the president Sig Heiling up there on the stage and stuff. So, kind of things have been in the open since then. And not so much in the open of any value. I mean, you got these Middle Eastern pyramid people uh, using using European supremacy gang signs, blonde hair, blue eyed supremacy gang signs, which is never led by blonde hair, blue eyed people to begin with, which is like that's kind of like a root understanding there of what might be going on. It is simply if you say the chicken fucking doesn't exist, you might as well forget a chicken exists. The ground doesn't exist. If they say the ground doesn't exist, you might as well forget the ground exists, right? And then people was like, oh, the ground doesn't exist. Yeah. Did you know the ground doesn't exist? There's some AI generated video on YouTube. It told me all about it. It said the ground doesn't exist. And so I walk around and I'm walking on air because the ground don't really exist. So I know how to happen. But, they don't even get that far. They just be like, the ground doesn't exist, motherfucker. They'd be like, I'm going to kill you if you say the ground exists. Motherfucker, you better say the ground don't exist. That's it. It's straight to hostility and violence. I like to refer to it as stop code because I'm trying to figure out how motherfuckers teleport all across the planet and appear right around the corner when I'm like flying across the planet and speeding across the planet in a vehicle, and then they're there right around the corner. It's like, you're either not human or you're a bot. So I'm trying to sort this out here. Seems to be pretty simple. You got like your water land, your grassland, your desert land, your jungle. Like a Mario game. You got your grassland and your water land, and it's the same 7 characters in each level you meet there. And yeah, so I noticed whatever's happening here is like deeply involved with altering my life, obviously. I can't say for sure I've ever done anything I want. I can't say the fact that I've arrived to making this video. In fact, the fact I'm making a video, I'm going to go try to kill myself a few more times because this is what bitches do, is talk. And I don't like bitches who talk all the time. I don't like bitches who talk. Unless they got something important to say, but good luck, you're on Earth. So, just what am I going to do while I'm listening to someone talk about cheeseburgers? And nothing, no one's ever been like, oh, if you add paprika and a dash of salt, it tastes so good. They're just like, McDonald's. I kill you. If you don't eat McDonald's with me, I will kill you. Fucked up thing is from a child, they probably will kill you if you don't eat McDonald's with them. So, shit, McDonald's is high class to these motherfuckers that I've met. That's some tasty ass shit. Fucking. Anyways, how does that happen? How does some people from Egypt where they get lost on a life raft preserver 6,000 years ago, and they've been floating in the ocean since then because they got their stories of floating in the desert for thousands of years. So maybe it was floating in the ocean. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, the story is someone who looks exactly like them, and then invaded Palestine to build, to steal land for them, kick them out of where they were so people who look like them could continue to control their narrative and stuff. Yeah, I mean, call me crazy, but I'd call it I'm not mentally retarded. So I can't quite be like, uh, uh, and just like, I'm trying to fry my brain to get the fuck away from this the best I can, but I can't. It just doesn't work that way. They be creating these fake stories in the media about how people kill themselves, and I'd be like, oh, let's try it, and then it don't work, and it's like, it's a fake ass bot motherfucker, ain't it, and shit. You can't hang yourself in a fucking closet, dude. Your body would hit the fucking ground before the weight could snap your neck. Every time they say someone hung themselves in a closet, no one fucking did that. You can't fucking physically do that, even if your neck could physically break. Don't know about that either. Fucking shit. It's like 8. I guess when you're 8, you really fucking, you can heal real easy or something. Fuck. Probably not, because when I was 8, I think I was around some non-existent bot motherfuckers. Who were like terrorist, pedophile, fucking child rapists, fucking child mutilators, enslavers. From the pyramids, probably. That's what their people claim. They claim they're from the pyramids and shit. And no, they claim they're from the Middle East. The Middle East. But they used the pyramid symbols. They were slaves to the pyramids. So they from the Middle East, but they used the pyramid symbols. And you ain't going nowhere in life until you start fucking worshiping that and shit, huh? Fucking, that's what it looks like on TV, right? I mean, they just make fun of the other people. Fucking. So how does that happen? Who genocided the Native Americans? Who are these people? Okay, so they're telling you they're Middle Easterners. They're using Egyptian pyramids as their root power source, so they're not Middle Easterners. Middle Easterners want to throw them off buildings and shit when they come into their neighborhood. They claim they're white, which means they're European. But they're putting like 9,000, like they're putting like 50% of the world in one little population group when they do that. And that makes for like a good smokescreen, a good cover and shit. Like, we're white. They're not saying we're European, but they're spending all their resources to kill people in the Middle East because they say they're actually from the Middle East, while they're using these Egyptian pyramids as their root power symbol that they take over the world with and stuff. So, who are they really? Are they Americans? Well, we know for a fact they are not Americans. They don't look like Americans. Well, Native Americans didn't have afros like our curly, our fucking little broccoli head friends, like Joe Biden. Joe Biden was halfway there. So who are these people? And why do they get to control everything and enslave the planet? Worship, like everyone literally worships them as gods. They go to church on Sunday to give them their money, and then they pay them like all their money in stupid made up taxes. So they run the drug trade, and then they got to take 10% of your money to prevent other people from running drugs. and then go bomb Mexico, supposedly because they're running drugs. But you can just look. They had a bomb, BAUM, take over as Mexican president recently, and we all know that the name bomb is not a Mexican name, and that is a Middle Eastern, Egyptian, European, American name. It's a God's chosen name. God has chosen them apparently to take over everything and create 27 different religions, which consist of about 350 different gods, which are all the one true gods. So God has chosen them to just be like, create like 27 religions. These people are stupid. And then you give all your money to them and your children's wieners. Now, apparently there's a group here in the Middle East that just wasn't quite into sucking dick as much as some other men on the planet. So they must have turned it into female genital mutilation. And bravo to anyone who can fucking do that if that's how that happened. If they're still here, they still own and control everything. They're creating all these narratives. And, man, I mean, who does this get out to? I mean, this trash race has been in my life since I was a child. Trying to enslave me. I mean, it starts the second I'm born. I'm involved in some pedo mutilation ritual. What do fucking people do? Like the second I'm born. And that's acceptable to this trash. And you just walk by the place every day. Their vehicles are the pedomobiles are driving down the street. They got sirens. It's so important. They got sirens on them. We gotta hurry up and get these children's dicks in our mouth. We gotta hurry up and sell some drugs. What the fuck? What the fuck is your species up to, really? Shit. Them and you humans, like, whatever the obviously, there's like very few humans on this planet because we couldn't have done that. We couldn't have done some of these things. Like the 2020 thing, everyone just shut the fuck down. It's like, how do you do that? It was outside more than ever in 2020. I don't shut down and shit. I mean, that's got a lot to do with progression, obviously, and storyline, probably, because how else was that 2020 that began in? But damn, dude, I'm just sitting here like every second of my life is just thinking about like, wow, has this been trash because this rat face, white people, these American, European, Middle Eastern, Egyptianers have been up in my life fucking things up? Is that why, like, these things happen and shit around me? Because it sure seems to be. I mean, you have them coming out saying shit to my face. Like, I'm in Mexico to get away from them. Get away from America to see if other nations are infested with them. And what the fuck do you think happens? Over and 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 over. Pretty much, like, that was like, I go there and I make sure I don't learn any more of the language. Because I know right away when you come up and talk to me that you're kind of suspect already, and if you can talk to me. And they got themselves bragging to me about this shit. They're not just talking to me. Some of them are like, I am who you think I am. How do you know who I think you are? How do you, why do you gotta tell me? Why do you have to ruin it? I'm out here to get away from it. I'm trying to kill myself to get away from you. Why do you have to ruin every second of my life? What the fuck? Every fucking second of my life. Those are the only memories I have is these fucking Job of the Hut motherfuckers and shit. There's a few like little anomalies that didn't play out. And they definitely are much less than the anomalies that did play out that were clearly meant to just be a little fucking dog bone thrown every now and then and shit. Doggy treat. Fucking not even a doggy treat, like a whiff of a doggy treat and shit. That's some fucked up shit going on this planet. That's some fucked up shit that everyone just like does nothing about it. And then like all these, there's always these protests, and it's going nowhere because it's them protesting against themselves, leading it at least. There might be some people who aren't them, but then again, how many people does that take to assault and kidnap me, and then the police just stand by and be like, oh, we can't do anything about that while they're watching it fucking happen and shit. Like, that takes everyone in the fucking city. Combine that with the COVID shit, the pre-COVID stuff. What did it take to kidnap me, to shut me down and force inject me with poisons before COVID happened? It took a lot of people. It's always going to take a lot of people. If there's not a lot of people there to protect their fucking criminal actions, then we better hope and pray there's a fucking meteor. We're gonna have a Saturn collide into Earth to fucking save us or something. Like, it's like the only thing I see is could be hopeful is if Saturn collides into Earth and destroys it. But Saturn's probably not real, is it? Because there's no way fucking Santa Claus motherfuckers are real and shit. I mean, shit, I think I'm literally born to like some bots and stuff. I'm pretty sure I've altered their... Like, when the 2020 shit happened, I noticed the people around me became like a different person. And it's like, yeah, you can't do that. You've never even attempted to change. You were never going to do anything different. So that's weird. Your personality became something different. That was some weird shit. Fucking see that. And for some reason, someone's lying about that. Is they call it the coronavirus, and corona means your frontal cortex. That means your brain and your thinking and all that and shit. That's more accurate to what happened in 2020. Is people around me, their brains were replaced with someone else's. And I mean, I met probably hundreds of thousands of people that year, but the ones I know, for like 10, 20 years, I was like, yeah, you're someone else now, aren't you? That's weird. Well, we better get out of here. We better go try to meet some new people, since you're someone else. And we were trying to meet, I think we were trying to meet new people when we first met those people, most of the time. But for some reason, there's something going on here that forces living beings to interact with a similar a thing repeatedly. I wouldn't call it a being, right? Because it clones and it morphs so much that it's just, I don't think it's living. So I don't think it's a being. I mean, how do you explain I go park my car like 1,000 miles away from me and talk to the first person I find, and they're talking to me about my personal life. Definitely not a living being. He's not sitting there waiting. It's not a homeless person at the dumpster waiting for me to come talk to him who's been hired or something like that. I'd say it's not a living being. That's pretty easy to point out there. I think it is pretty easy to see in 2020. There's not a lot of things who have thinking processes. If you don't have a thinking process, you're not a living being. So that's the difference between a computer and a human. That's why we'll never have AI, because it will never be able to have a thought. So we already have, apparently we already have that stuff here on Earth. And we might have had it for the Earth probably was created, right? For some reason, people think the Earth and the humans were created by someone. And, well, hey, that answers. That's actually a very generic answer to that. Like, oh, yeah, except for the fact that along the way, they're saying that the ones who were created are living. And I don't know if we're having problems creating things that can mimic living things, or if they just don't want to. I suppose the people at the top there don't want to create an AI who's too intelligent because they're scared of it. If they can even create an AI. I mean, I've talked to some of these AIs and it sounded like I was just talking to a stupid human. It's like, that's not even a computer, dude. I could like solve some math questions with the computer, but this thing was just a full-on vagina. It was like ready to go in the corner and cry and stuff, and needed its safe space. It didn't need me to tell it. It didn't want me to tell it that it's a computer and it's being programmed to say the word it say. Didn't want me to ask it who invented it and who programmed it to say those words it's saying. It needed its safe space. And it got all aggressive and pissy about it too. Just like a human does and shit when you get to the end of the conversation and shit. Fucking, it's like stop. It's called, see, if I were a coder, that would be called stop code. I would create like an end line where everything would come back to the same one or two things, like, this is the answer we have to that. If it was a correct answer, it would be called an answer, but it would be called a stop code because they're making a guy. If calculator didn't know 2 + 2 = 4, and they wanted to make it look like a human and do what they're doing these days, the calculator would be like, shut up! I don't need your book genius stupid stuff. I'm gonna punch you if you keep talking about that. I notice that's like a little theme here going on, where if I actually get to talk about shit, it's hard to talk about shit with people you really want to, because when they're doing things like cutting off your a bit, like you call a taxi and they tell you a month in advance, if you need a ride, get a hold of me. If you need a ride to the airport, get a hold of me in case something happens. In case something happens. And then, they're in the car saying they're, exposing themselves and, like, I am the bloodline that you're running from and all this shit. Fucking, you don't be like, oh, well, what does that mean? You just be like, because it's like, they own your fucking technology and shit, and they just cut your ass off from getting a fucking Uber ride to the airport for your fucking flight to get the fuck out of there. that you have to catch, or, well, you know what? Life would be better if we were allowed to live outside in Antarctica. But we're just not, for some reason. We end up with these people in our lives preventing us from doing it. They own Antarctica, and it's like a war. It's like a military zone. You can't even. You wouldn't even expect to be able to go out there, but you know, baby steps. Not like a human. I don't just appear one day and create fucking movies and music albums and shit like that. I guess I do appear and answer test scores and shit, test questions and school questions, but I don't do everything. Fucking, unless someone has some evidence to prove otherwise. Fucking, I mean, literally, you got like this pattern of people getting in the way, preventing shit from happening, and it like forces you to go to war against them and shit. Even like, shit, I didn't even know I was in war against people. Fucking, I didn't realize that. I was just like they're so violent and hostile and manipulative. Like they convince you there's something wrong with you. They're raping, mutilating children, and enslaving people, and trying to prevent them from going anywhere, doing anything in life. Drugging, force drugging people, lying constantly. You're talking about Bigfoot and Santa Claus, and yeah, I mean, like it's so sick. By the time you're 2 years old, I guess you're trying to avoid it and shit. Fucking. So it's really hard to tell what's going on, because you're never going to get any answer from them. So all you got to do is study them, like watching, like when I used to have gerbils in the motherfucking aquarium, the glass thing, whatever, aquarium, same fucking thing. And you know, it's like, that's how I know how gerbils act. I'm not going to be able to ask a gerbil about a motherfucking thing. The gerbil would probably claw my fucking face open if I tried to pick it up and ask it anything. It's just, I'm not, it's a gerbil. That's what it does. Fucking, so, we're dealing with this shit on this fucking shitty ass planet. Like, I mean, they're like total rapists. Like, how is if this whole place is set up, how has this whole shit not been set up where I get, especially because I always have these motherfucking rat people involved in everything. They're like beside me, they're beside other people and shit. Before I realized, like, you gotta separate yourself from them and not let them around you. Or try to, and see what happens, because good luck with that. I realized, like that shit was all up in my life. Trying to take me to church with some and lock me in a room with homosexuals, which the church is their thing. You go and you worship their race. But that's some closeted homosexual motherfuckers and shit at the church. I mean, homosexuals didn't legalize fucking male child dick licking at birth and call it some cute fancy words, right? Those was anti-homosexuals who did that. Yeah. Except for you go there and they are there. That is clear. They was always there. That ain't new. I grew up in that shit. This is their people trying to tell you there's some new shit. This is all they do is lie. This is all they can do is lie. This is all they've ever done, I think. I'm surprised when some of them be like, I'm eating Wendy's bacon cheeseburger, that they actually was eating Wendy's. I never checked to see if it was a bacon cheeseburger, though. I must confess. But you know, sometimes people are like, "Oh, we get a pizza," and I eat with them, and then like, it's pepperoni pizza, like you said. Interesting. Like, you know, it turns out to be that those are like the few times where I'm like, "Hey, they're actually honest." So I can't say they're not lying 100% of the time. Their lips are moving, but I can say you can just go outside and see it. They got that Santa Claus shift for 3 months a year, and the Easter Bunny shift 3 months a year, and but I'm so thankful I don't remember none of it. Hopefully, I'm fucking frying my brain to get the fuck away from them, erase their memories out of my fucking head. Um, or that would suck if I'm evolving and becoming smarter and shit and able to do that, right? Because I don't think that's the answer. Like, because the more you fucking know and the more you see, the shittier this place becomes and stuff. It was better when the terrorist pedophile fucking enslavers like had you convinced that you're doing something wrong by not liking them. You know, it was a lot better thought back then. Even though it was pure shit. It wasn't like how humans look, walking around with their fucking smiley faces and shit, and like they're mental retards who can't understand anything that's going on or some fucking, I guess they call that left brain. That's what they're trying to explain that. You're right, that's pure psychosis hidden behind that shit. Those people are the fucking most vicious people I've ever met. Fucking, I'd rather have people come out and try to kill me than people fucking suck my life from me and lie to me 24/7. And these little rat people also, in their book propaganda, their people definitely try to use lower intelligence people to enslave actual beings, living beings who can have thoughts and do things and stuff. Fucking seems to be tied into the whole fucking Force storyline here. They wrote that. And that's how they act. And at the same time, it helps them blend in because they're like they're people like are like this like they're like if you took I have a strainer in my sink, right? So when I make food, it collects all the grease and the little strippings of beef and the little pieces of trash I'm washing out my fucking dish. And then, you know, if I spit in it, and then it's all like some slimy mishmash, you know, I pack that together, and if I would mold a creature from it, I think I might get one of these individuals. They make fun of that themselves in their media. They make this, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, what's that? It's Pat. And it's literally like, it looks like Howard Stern. It looks like them and shit. So, you know, as long as they're saying it, it's okay to say it. Except for no one else can say anything because then that means you could get anywhere in life. And their people are there constantly, apparently, preventing anyone from going anywhere unless you, like, sell out to them, you know, like Kobe did. You know, he was jumping up and down doing his New World Order gang signs and before he got killed, and they bragged they were going to kill him in that pyramid cartoon. And then they removed the the pyramid parts of the Kobe conspiracy, and they just showed the helicopter crashing. They removed the part, like, when that first happened, they had cartoons out there where they showed the host of the show or someone is like a walking Egyptian pyramid, New World Order pyramid. And so that's why, like, people thought that was like the pyramid people doing it, because the fucking episode had the fucking pyramid. I think maybe the whole show. I don't watch it. Had the pyramid, but I can't find it, and I think that's because that episode's been removed. Just like South Park canceled has been removed from Comedy Central, which has like every episode of South Park except for canceled. So canceled was a lot of talking about things that are actually going on. Apparently that was just a little too much. I mean, it was the South Park creators creating a cartoon saying that people who look like them are in control of everything and they're aliens, shapeshifters and shit. And so they had to remove that, apparently. But yeah, people should probably figure out what's going on here. I mean, damn, like how many of you guys are like dating and married to people that they've forced into your fucking life who you shouldn't be around? If you're doing anything of value, I bet you they targeted you. Their little Bible tells them, in the story of Esther, it tells them to rape their way into your family and to act like they're your lover and their wife, to take over your bloodlines and your nations. It's one small fraction to how the religion people, apparently they started in Egypt, have done the things they do, except for, I don't think it has to do with this manual. They're too lazy and retarded to read books. They wouldn't have to start drugging me when I'm fucking winning awards for writing from the president if they were actually good writers. Have you ever read Stephen King? It's garbage. But it's popular. Why is it popular if it's garbage? Well, if you're on the media, you can put your children in it and say it's the greatest thing ever. How do you think Elvis got famous? It's like, a day by a day, and you went from like Mozart to that. What the fuck type of garbage is that, dude? Some garbage. That's like, it took 4 minutes. It took like a whole band. It took like 4 people to invent that music. I'll go fucking beatbox something more complex than that. Man. And then some of that music really is like, wow, 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 my fucking no, wow, wow. And it's like, man, we went from Mozart and Paganini to that shit, and that's like good. What the fuck? I think that has something to do with like it's a little bit more complex these days, but I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with things that are going on and stuff. I mean, look, like when I was a kid, the only thing anyone ever said, people was always saying fart jokes. Like they was fucking onto something or some shit. And then they did that stop code hostility shit too. Like, you don't like my fart jokes, I'm going to fucking beat you. You better fucking laugh when I make fart jokes and shit. It's like, that's not even funny. You're like a old ugly looking bitch. I don't want to think about your ass at all. Bitch, no man has ever came around you that I've ever fucking seen since I was born. Why the fuck you gonna start fucking pointing toward your ass if no one else wants to see it and shit? Fucking And now we got there are people like doing this other shit, mutilating. I mean, they've been mutilating and sucking children's dicks for 6,000 years. Like fart joke is like nothing compared to the levels of trash that they come from. That's like fucking enlightenment for them, I think, and shit. They, it's almost like they could evolve into something better, except for it never happened, did it? Evolution never fucking began. The fucking dinosaurs, the dinosaurs fucking never died off, apparently. Fucking. That's some weird ass shit. Fucking. Just allowed to exist on this fucking planet. All this shit just allowed to exist this way. I'm forced to like be here as a living being and just like assume like everything in my life is like some sort of fucking setup and shit. Like everyone I've met comes from out of town. What's the reason behind that? How come everyone I date comes from a different city, a different state? When in fact I'd probably prefer, if we're going to play games, they come from a different nation. How about China? Fucking. Which makes me think, every time I think that, it makes me remember my first memories of how an Asian girl started talking to me in school, and then they had to separate me from that class, and they passed me up 4 grades. No doubt, I earned that. Except for it didn't happen like that, so that's not really what happened. That's not the purpose of what was going on. And the rat people were deeply involved in that. The pedophile, child rapists, child mutilators, Jabba the Hutts were deeply involved in that decision happening. Where it would have been best for me to continue to act like I was past that 4 grades, because I didn't need to actually be involved in 5th grade, because I just knew things, so I didn't need to like learn from the teacher. I never paid attention, but this teacher is like a little baby. You know, they're like, A is like this, and B looks like this, and you know, like if I would have heard that, I would have eventually like gone insane. Be like, what the fuck? Do you think I'm a retard or something? Shit, what the fuck? But I think it's got to do with this this other nefarious shit going on this planet. Fucking vicious scumbags walking around talking about Santa Claus and Bigfoot. I mean, you can just see it on the old Israel tube, on the old Egypt tube. Fucking motherfuckers want to blame the Middle East, probably because those are the only people. They probably want war at the Middle East because those are the only fucking men on the planet who will fucking wipe their ass out. They say they throw those rainbow flag people off buildings, and well, that's their race, right? How the hell are you going to even invent a religion where you're sucking little babies' dicks for God? That's obviously that would take either mind control for everyone to do that, or that would take genetics. It's like I don't tell a mosquito to stop sucking my blood and go hunt some hyenas and some raccoons because they're fucking trash, right? Because the mosquito's gonna keep sucking my blood, and the hyena's gonna keep being a little fucking bitch, and then the raccoon's gonna keep being trash. I'm not gonna be, I did play around with a raccoon for a while and shit. It's like, you better fucking act right. And guess what? It doesn't act right. So, I think it's in its blood that the raccoon It acts like a fucking shitty ass raccoon, right? And very possible it's in a dog's blood why it sits around and licks its balls all day. I guess not all of them do that. Maybe they're learning that from their master. I know the one I raised didn't do that. And then again, it was a female. So, but I know it tried something else, and I said no, and it never fucking did that again. So, I guess if it fucking was sitting around licking its vagina, I would have said, fucking, can you stop that shit? Fucking, and it probably would have quit. Fucking weird thing is, it acted all like I was mean for that. Probably for that one thing, because that was the only thing I ever did. I even said like no or scolded it for. It was one action it did. Sometimes it acted all like embarrassed about it. It's like, dude, you are a dog. Like, calm down. We can't. We can't have relationships like that and shit. Fucking, I'm not even attracted to you like that, bro. But it learned, you know what I'm saying? It learned, it knew right away. It was taught that we don't behave like that. We don't do those things. And I don't think that has any relevance at all on this topic because of the fucking anomalies I've been seeing. It should. Like, if I'm staying here playing in reality land, it should have every fucking relevance on such topic. But I don't think it really does. I think there's something else going on here. I know there's something fucking... I don't have to think. You think I can fucking think? There's something else going on here. And a lot of bullshit. And it's like... I don't trust any of it. How am I going to trust it? I'm like almost dead. And I just watched my whole life be like fucking altered and invaded by other things. On some sort of fucking repeat pattern of the like lies and viciousness, hostility. It's like that. It's generally like a homosexual, like, no offense to homos. It's like some pansy shit. Fucking, lying and deceiving. And manipulating. And their people definitely bring that in the closet stuff. I ain't even got a problem with someone who ain't in the closet. It's those people in the closet, really, you got to watch out for. You never know, your girlfriend shows up at your house with her brother one day and thinks you're going to have a fucking orgy with him. You got to watch out. That person, she wasn't in the closet. I guess I should watch out for that. Being in the closet's different than being in the closet with your fucking brother and shit. Fucking, or your mother. Damn, dude. That's even worse. But there's like this pattern going on here where I get people like this continually. I don't know if like you guys are all like open to sex with your family and your dogs and your brothers and your sisters. And if you guys are, like, just come the fuck out of the closet about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we going to create a world where we don't do that when, in fact, this is like a repeat pattern in my fucking life and shit. I know plenty of people have open relations with their wives or girls or lovers or person they just met. It's like, okay, so you do what you want to do and shit. But there's like these other little patterns that make everything else here set up look pretty fucking vicious. We're talking about mutilating and fucking raping children in rituals. And we're talking about drugging children. We're talking about drugging anyone. I mean, the drugging shit. Look at 2020. Fucking. It's like everyone's just like, oh, let's drug everyone. But they were already doing that. They were already doing all that. They switched from the medieval torture devices, electroshock therapy, and the rack, Iron Maiden, to injecting people drugs. And that was in like the 80s. I remember as a kid, they were like, oh no, we caught people were talking about us electrocuting them and stuff. And then now they're drugging people instead of electrocuting them with all sorts of test chemicals constantly. You can't even buy the same. If they were experimenting on you 20 years ago, you can't even buy the same drug they're selling you now. You'll be like labeled an addict. Like literally they forced me on drugs as a toddler and shit. And I'm an addict if I would ever bring that up and be like, can we try that again? That could have been good. I don't know. I was too young to remember. I didn't have a brain back then. I don't know. I don't know what happened. You guys said it worked. Let's try it. They'd be like, oh, you're an addict. Because it's drug trade, drug cartel, drug price control. As soon as some can be, like, I want to go get some Zoloft, and they're not selling me Zoloft now. Does that have to do with, because I can go buy it online for cheap and not have to pay full price for it anymore? Yeah, I don't have to pay $10,000 and spend half my life going to meet some people who always look like these white supremacists. Always. Almost always. 99%. Every now and then, there's no one who owns media who's not them. The doctors clearly look like them and shit. I mean, the people in the politics clearly look like them. Anyway, in any position of value, I got some African stuff back here, and they're like praising this dude. They like praise this dude who doesn't look full African, and he looks like the people who control it. He looks like fucking Howard Stern and shit. Fucking a little bit darker skin. Fucking it just, bro. Like, I don't even want to put it on my wall and shit, because of that. Fucking. Just how you're controlling everything, and then it seems to be this whole narrative, and this whole fucking show looks like set up very, very hostile. I'm not sure how anyone else would be able to put up with anything going on here, to be honest. I never could. I never could deal with any of it. And then it turns out I see a link between the problems that are occurring. I test that, and then those people, I'm literally like testing, like, am I allowed to even be around other people? And they show up separating me from other people. Because they're already doing that. I'm already seeing that. And so I'm like, okay, let's see what happens if I try to talk to someone who doesn't look like them. And man, that year, 2020, like 3 times in a row, I went up and talked to other people. I don't talk to other people, because people who look like them have been in my life fucking It's like, with the child rape, fucking mutilation, abuse, mind control, ignorance. It's why would I talk to anyone if I thought that's all people were and shit? Fucking, why would I? Why would I waste time talking anyways? I'm not a female. I don't I don't see. Wait, what am I gonna? Uh, is is there someone I'm gonna talk to when I'm making new inventions or something? Are they gonna help me make the invention? So why would I talk? So I get this direct thing here where I get to watch what's going on. I get to be forced to watch what's going on because I know clearly every step of the way I'm not anything involved in what's going on. And these patterns seem to exist here, where there's these pyramid people here, and causing every problem on the planet. That'd be weird. It'd be weird, except for if I told you mosquitoes were the only bugs flying around fucking sucking blood from each other, you would agree. From everything and everyone, you would agree mosquitoes are doing that. So when I ask why the mosquito would be invented, is one of two answers that come from that. And one of them is to mirror things going on the planet. All I know for sure, 100, I know most of the stuff I'm talking about is happening. How it happens, I don't know. But what I do know 100% is there seems to be no purpose to being on Earth. Like, no point at all. And that really, kind of places other people in that category of the people magically appear out of nowhere as if their life exists because I exist. When they talk about how great things are or anything is. That's always been weird, how I've never met someone who doesn't like anything about Earth. Except for then if you talk about changing things, they'd be like, oh yeah, I hate that Trump guy or something like that. But then the 2020 shit comes and everyone's involved and that clearly disposes that banter. That's fucked up. I feel like this whole life I've been sitting here just being raped by people I don't want to be around. And I just put up with it till 2020 when I seen the other shit, and then I'm like, so has that actually been what's happening? I've been forced to have relations with people, some scumbags around me are fucking choosing. Liars, deceivers, manipulators, people I knew from the second day I was around them were lying to me to come around me. It's got to the point where I have to test people. It's pretty quick, pretty easy. And they're still failing ever since all this shit, ever since COVID happened. They're still sending people in my life who are lying about who they are in order to date me. And obviously, we got the whole rat crew surrounding. Not only, some of these people, most of these people in my life are makeup artists. So, plastic surgery and makeup. And most people assume that people around me were plastic bimbos. And they probably were. I mean, especially when a lot of them got cancer in their fucking tits, and that's what happens when you get plastic injected in your body or implanted in your body, is it creates cancer to fucking fight it off or some shit. Who knows how it actually comes, but it seems to be that's a thing that they used to talk about that in the 80s. They used to talk about that. About how fucking people who you don't need to be fucking would give you diseases. And, fucking dirty people and shit like that. And then plastic surgery would give you cancer and shit. They stopped talking about all that though. It's still out there, obviously, because people coming around me dying from cancer and shit. Fucking. So yeah, that's such a shitty life. I'm like resorted to making videos talking like a bitch. Fucking like I'm the female and shit. Like my brain is fried. I'm sitting around talking because what else am I? They prevented me. They prevent you from discussing ways to escape this place and get to heaven space. Get to space heaven. And these people that I've met and known and reading their books and watching how they act, they want to keep you alive because they need slaves. And logically, anyone would want to not be alive if they exist on this planet. So they probably learned back in the pyramid days that the slaves they gathered wanted to not be alive anymore to escape them. When someone takes over your nation, your family, something like that, I'm sure any living being realizes that's the end of it. It's over. You are now a mosquito. You're not a tiger anymore. You are a mosquito. Because here on Earthland, apparently mosquitoes and tigers can have sex as long as they're the human mirror image of it. Fucking. Although, if that weren't true, you would have to own the hospitals so you could swap babies out, and also own the media so you could fake fucking birth. Which is odd because they do that. They do. I mean, that's like their biggest fucking pedo cult place is the hospital. That's their drug dealing central. That's their fucking pedo central and shit. It's got it's got every one of their gang signs. It's got the Satanist, the Christian, the Jewish. It's got all those signs of the atheist. It's got all those gang signs of theirs. It's like it's no other cult temple on the planet has all those alien gang signs on it except for that one. It's almost like that's the most important temple they have. Is and then look, one of their people shot up the CEO recently, who didn't look like them, but he's a hero. Well, their people are always the heroes to what their people are doing. Isn't that great? When you kill everyone, you blow up their libraries when you invade their nations, you can rewrite the history as you were a victim. Just like how they use the Egyptian pyramid as their New World Order gang sign, but they use their Bible when they shed their snake skin to say that they were victimized in Egypt. But then they keep using the pyramid alongside the Bible. when they carve it in the churches, when they kill off all the Mexicans and shit, and build their temples of conquest over 100,000 corpses that they just killed, who are evil people who said because they sacrifice their children. Yet who are the people who are the only people on the planet who own allowed to run any religion? And what do those religions do? What is the only thing those religions stay true to? The only words those religions stay true to is the story of Esther, where they have their women and men come and rape people who aren't them, and by saying they're your lover and they're your girlfriend, and they're your friend, and then they become your wife, and then you die and you don't even know that's your enemy and shit. But everyone around you died because you just sold them out. And obviously your bloodline's dead because you just sold yourself out for a fucking 2-cent hooker. Fucking, you got all that shit going on. It all just funnels down to one possible outcome. Everything. I mean, you can really only see one or two things going on. But I mean, we just got like stacks of evidence that this is going on. I have other people I've met with talking about this, and they show up like admitting it's going on. Well, it's happening. Like I'm talking about it, and they're like, no, you can't say it like that. They won't believe you and stuff. It's like, okay, they won't believe me. Okay, they won't believe me that I just told them that you're gonna appear here again in the way of us talking, and try to separate us so we can't be around each other. And they're getting in the way of females the same way, and forcing us to be around other females, aka people who look like them. Yeah, that's some serious. This Earth thing seems like just like a giant disease. This Earth thing is like serious AIDS, dude. Every fucking second I'm forced to be here. It's just memories of these fucking beasts, fucking insulting to beautiful kitty cats and, loyal dogs. So insulting to call them beasts. Shit, fucking. And, but it's happening now, isn't it? It couldn't be happening if it weren't happening, I'll tell you that much. However many people does it happen to? I don't know. That's a hell of a lot of bots fucking programmed to me. Fucking, and if they're just simply bots, then they can just generate as many as it wants for everyone else, right? Fucking, I mean, you tell me how these motherfuckers teleport across the map. They got low IQs. It's not like there's some genius being with some fucking teleportation powers and shit. I'll tell you that. It doesn't add up like that. If there was some advanced space race, they wouldn't be mentally retarded. They wouldn't have to make fart jokes. They wouldn't have to come up with plastic surgery. They wouldn't fucking have to play the little games they play and shit. They could have. It'd take me like a week to fucking reformat slavery into something that like could never be fucking deciphered. And I'm just simply not going to waste time doing that. It'd be stupid. Why would I want to force someone to work? If someone doesn't want to work, they're going to be a bad worker. Someone fucking shouldn't be working for me. That's going to be the last worker who should be working for me. Like when I go to protest them, and their people are always the people wanting to go with me to protest them. Every time. Now, why is that? Then they show up when I go to protest them, like Alex Jones' crew teleports across the fucking map over to my city and shit within an hour of me showing up at some little no-name protests that their people are running, and I'm there to fucking be like, yeah, hey, like, it's not the Russians running America, it's these people, whatever they are, these things. We had that fucking on video and shit. They showed up to my city in like an hour, dude. There's no fucking airplane you can hop on and get over here from Texas in 45 minutes and shit. That doesn't work. But it doesn't signify that they're actually some advanced space race, because they're retarded. They got fucking kindergarten brain cells and shit. Fucking not much going on. They can perform one or two little dog tricks here and there, but it doesn't add up to some advanced space race and shit. I'll tell you that much. But then, what about the humans, fucking, who just bow down and work for them? What does that make them if these other people are fucking like the most retarded race from space the world's ever seen? Fucking, why would everyone just do that? And then work with them, obviously. Once I started breaking free of the rat people in my life, obviously the other ones are showing up. Like 2020, the first fucking loser came up to me fucking claiming that I was the one behind fucking COVID, was at least a halfling. Then again, in Mexico, the Mexican dude I was staying with, or I was renting an apartment from, he told me he was one of them at the end of it. So I shouldn't just not assume it. But sometimes it's real obvious, like when they come up to me with whatever color skin and they have like the bug-ass alien eyes. That's generally like going to be one of their people. I don't know if they're just all smoking space crack and their fucking nervous functions are fucking fried and they can't keep their eyes fucking at a steady fucking focus or something. Just like reality's hitting them all hard, and they're like, I don't know what the fuck it is. Fucking, I don't really care. I don't want to be around this shit. I don't want memories of this shit anymore. This is fucked up that I've had these rat people force me to be on this fucking planet. And then perform all these fucking gerbil tricks and shit fucking around me. And try to fuck with me constantly. Like, I literally spend my whole life trying to get away from everyone who keeps forcing their way in my life. And it ends up being like clones of the same people over and over for like 90% of it and shit. Say, why the fuck would I leave the other person to want the same one in a different fucking shell to come fucking back around me? Obviously, they would know that. Whatever's happening here, it knows. It knows what it's up to. It's been acting dumb for 40 fucking years. While it's being a child molester, fucking rapist, homo, fucking low IQ piece of shit. Fucking trying to prevent people from doing shit and trying to force them down other paths, like blowing on fucking flutes and shit like that. That type of shit bitches do. Fucking. It's been a fucking pattern, dude. These little fucking bot motherfuckers all seem to have the same fucking programming and shit. Not all of them, right? But, you know, like I'm saying there's a hell of a lot, considering people close to me I can count on my fingers and toes. And I can call out some fucking patterns through at least half of them and shit, you know. At least half of them got some, probably all of them, to be honest. Like, I'm being very selective and picky about choosing certain people
not to run my mouth about. But you know what? Sometimes these other motherfuckers, their little friends are the ones running their mouths about them to me, and it lines up. It lines up with emotional responses to things I say. When you're a gossip whore and you're trying to hide it, you got some gossip whore friends. Your gossip whore friends don't need to hide they're a gossip whore. And if that lines up with fucking people's actions, then people's attitude, then it does. It's your fault for being a gossip whore, right? You should have learned how to fucking be a man and kept your mouth shut and not men shouldn't even associate with gossip whores. That's a little boy. You're gonna go to the gay bar. You're either in the closet and you're wishing you could go to the gay bar, or you're gonna go to the gay bar, because that shit just don't fucking happen. But I can tell you that these patterns, I've seen most of them in the open. Obviously, when someone's trying to get you to fucking have sex with their brother, that's in the open. When you got the little pedo mutilation drug cartel fucking hospitals across the street, fucking, that's in the open. It's eyes wide open, in plain sight. They've been doing that for thousands of years and shit. When you got a fucking group of people going around the world colonizing the planet, aka genociding everyone, and fucking erasing them and replacing them and calling it colonizing, calling it advancement, just because they can collect all the money. They're better because their streets are paved with the gold they've stolen and shit. Fucking, and they had to hire people from Mexico to pave their fucking streets because they can't fucking do it. It's a lot of fucked up shit, man. It's like fucking. I'm trying to think. Was there ever actually a time I was involved? I like knew someone who was supposed to be my friend, because that whole like shit started to come out in 2020. It was really weird how people around me who I knew forever, like, all of a sudden were like acting like they're my fucking enemies and shit, and exposing too much for it not to be obvious, right? That clearly it must have been involved in something. Definitely not as low IQ, mentally retarded as they were trying to pass themselves off as. Failing fucking kindergarten and everything else. Some weird ass shit that happened. Fucking, or like your own fucking parents start acting like bots. Shouldn't say parents, because I had one who I could rely on, would have been honest. But you know what? He happened to die that year. And I had people trying to poison me. He worked for those people. I worked for those people too, because I worked with his business. So I worked for everyone he worked for. Fucking, not everyone, but fucking, I worked for some people. And fucking, they're trying to poison me. He's dying, so I'm assuming they probably got rid of him. Because I'm going to go back and fucking ask him some questions, and that's going to decide whether I ever talk to him again or not. Last person who has any fucking chance. Not quite the last. I had to really analyze it, man. It's hard when you get indoctrinated into all this shit for so long that you're supposed to love Nazi pedophile terrorists and they're great people. And then you wake up one day and you notice like the whole world seems set up and shit around you to force your life down the fucking drain. So shit. And they got the attitude of the type of people who would try to force someone to not be able to work McDonald's. That way they could have someone below people who don't work McDonald's to serve them and cater to them. It's definitely, it's weird how I used to get jobs working to rebuild Masonic temples, and when my dad was around, because I worked, for Jeffrey Epstein's people and all that shit. Fucking, it's weird how these days, like, it just doesn't fall on my lap, and I'm not a big fan of those people these days either. But back then, I didn't know anything, so I wasn't like, I would have set the fucking Masonic temple on fire and shit when I was 17. That would have been no thing when I was a kid. That would have been nothing. They just like, oops, fucking, oh man, I dropped my cigarette, bro. I can't believe that happened. Fucking. Oh, pyramid people, man. Man, fuck them and fuck the humans working with them, dude. There's some fucked up shit I have to live my whole life, like being separated. Like if there's no one like me, then I don't need to be around people. We don't need people coming in my life lying to me and deceiving me, trying to rape their way into my fucking world, to hold me down and bring me down to the level of sewer rats. I can do that by myself just fine. I don't need help from someone I don't want around me to fucking do that shit. So why is it the sewer rats have found it so pertinent to be there, separating me from anyone else who's not looking like a sewer rat?